Well, let me first start by saying that I am truly honored to be here with all of you and with all of these inspiring speakers. You know, I'm learning so many new things, and it's great. And I truly hope that you find a seed of inspiration that you can take home with you today. And maybe you don't find that seed of inspiration in the speakers. Maybe you find it in the person next to you, or in the lunch you're about to eat. You know, there are seeds of inspiration all around us. And so when I was asked to do this talk, I thought, me? Why me? Who am I? I pick up trash on a stand-up paddleboard. How is that inspiring to a room full of dignitaries? And then I thought about it. You know, why not me? What I do is pretty cool. At least I think so. And so, you know, I'm really excited to be here. But going back to the seeds of inspiration, one of the seeds that planted itself in me came about 7 years ago. My husband and I love the beach, and we like to take our 3 beautiful children there all the time. And so we wanted to instill in them the moral of respect and leaving the place nicer than the way we found it. And so each time we go to the beach, at the end of the day, as we're gathering up all of our stuff, we make sure that each of us picks up 10 pieces of trash before we leave. And that's become the norm for us, wherever we go, whether it's the beach or the park, whatever. So one day, we're at the beach, and we'd had a great time, and we were cleaning up all of our stuff, and we started to pick up the pieces of trash, and the kids decided to have this competition to see how much trash they could pick up in 10 minutes. Well, the beach didn't look all that dirty to me, so go ahead. But my 5-year-old daughter managed to pick up 100 pieces of trash in just 10 minutes. I was shocked. It's not like we let her roam very far away from us. She was literally within a 20-foot radius of us. And she wasn't the only one picking up trash. We all were. That was such an eye-opener to me. So we had been on the beach all day enjoying it, playing there, and the beach was that dirty, and I hadn't even noticed. That was my seed. And you would think that with all the years of schooling and researching and teaching as a marine biologist that I'd already be aware of the trash. But surprisingly, back when I started my education nearly 20 years ago, trash wasn't even discussed in the classrooms. It wasn't an issue. And so now I was aware of the trash problem. And I realized in that moment that if I wasn't a part of the solution, then I was a part of the problem. And it's funny when you become aware of a problem, you're really no longer allowed any excuses. Or at least they get a lot more limited. And so the seed of inspiration really took root. And after that, I took every opportunity to clean up trash on the beach. Whether it was cleanup events, volunteer opportunities, my kids' class projects. After school and on weekends, I would tell them, let's go to the beach. And they'd be like, yeah. Pick up trash. Like, man. Well, it became like an obsession for me. I felt responsible for this, and I wanted to pick up more and more trash to make the beach safer for my kids and for other kids that came to play. And then came the day where we had our first stand-up paddleboarding experience. I loved it. I was hooked. But then I saw it. Trash. In the water. I was appalled. And luckily so was my husband. We looked at each other and we said, you know, this is not good. And at that point we knew we had to do something about it. And so we took every opportunity to clean up the beach and the waterways. And I looked for events that had to do with water cleanup specifically. And I couldn't find anything in our area. The things I did find were few and far between. And so after that, we actually started to research gear and develop techniques and find ways to make us more and more efficient. And one day we were down in San Diego Bay, and we had spent 2 hours out there in the water, and we managed to pick up 100 pounds of trash in the water, just my husband and myself. Now, we couldn't carry anymore. Our boards were overloaded, our buckets were full, and our raft was overflowing. Not a pretty sight for America's finest city. And so that, every time we would pick up trash, we would always see more. And then came the awareness of the Pacific Garbage Patch. I'm sure you've heard of this, right? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, discovered by Captain Charles Moore in 1997. Well, it's roughly the size of Texas, and it's filled with debris, mainly plastic, that's made its way into the circulating ocean currents known as the North Pacific Gyre. Well, the Pacific Garbage Patch, the amount of trash in it, has increased over 100-fold in the past 40 years. And it's growing, and it's having profound changes to our marine environment. But, you know, the Pacific Garbage Patch is really the only one we ever hear about. But did you know there's actually 5 major gyres in the world's oceans? So there's not just one garbage patch, there's 5, and they're growing. Well, becoming aware of all of this, I was overwhelmed. I thought, what did we get ourselves into? There's no way we can make a difference in that. Especially when we come across pictures of massive amounts of trash in the LA River on a day after the rain, heading on its way out to the ocean. Or pictures of rivers in Bali just littered with trash. Or how about Pacific Beach on the day after the 4th of July? And what about the massive amount of debris that's been recently deposited into our ocean by the Japanese tsunami? And it's headed our way. I see all this, and my thoughts, honestly, why bother? It's overwhelming, and it seems impossible to make a difference. And now I know I can't control how others act or react, and so when I get overloaded or overwhelmed, I have this pretty simple motto that I refer to, and it goes like this. If it's to be, it's up to me. Meaning there's always something I can do about it. And so the times that I would truly start to question how much impact one person or even 2 could have, we'd have a day out on the water where we'd come across an animal that needed our help. This is Walter. He was hobbling along the docks with one leg tied up in a fishing line. My husband was able to catch him, and so while I'm kneeling there, shaking, trying to cut this line off this poor scared bird's leg, I realized that line isn't just wrapped around his one leg, it's wrapped around both of his legs. Both of his wings, around his beak, and even wrapped around his tongue. This guy didn't stand a chance if we hadn't been there to help. And this is Charlie. I wish I could have caught him and got him an animal rescue, because he was literally sliced on his bill pouch from tip to connecting joint on just one side, and the bill pouch was literally hanging open. And so I caught this freshly dead fish and I tossed it to him to feed him, and he threw it up into the air 10 times about before he could get it to land in his mouth properly so he could swallow it. So ultimately, I knew he probably wasn't going to survive. But at least he was fed that day. And this is George. George had 3 hooks caught on him, fishing hooks. 1 in each wing, 1 in his bill, and he had fishing line wrapped around his leg and his wing. And after we managed to get that all cut off him and out of his body, he flew away and looked like he felt a lot better. And it's funny, because now it seems like all these animals seem to gravitate towards us. And so these are the days that I truly feel my purpose, and I feel my connection to the environment. And I can truly see that I do make a difference. And so that seed of inspiration has grown and taken root so deeply into my heart that it's my next mission to spread the awareness to all of you, and anyone else who will listen, and let you realize that you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. So now at this point you may be thinking, great, good for you. And you're passion, your purpose. What does that mean for me? Basically, so what, now what? What can you do? What can anyone do who maybe lives inland or in Nebraska or Colorado? What can you do? Well, I know that not everyone is as excited about the oceans and the beaches as maybe I am, so I created an action plan for you that you can apply to any area of your life. And the first step is to know and understand that we are all connected. Drains connect to streams, streams connect to rivers, rivers connect to oceans, and you've heard this statement that there are 6 degrees of separation between you and everyone else in the world. There's actually only 1 degree of separation, or rather connectedness, between you and your environment. Knowing that and truly understanding it is the key to becoming a part of the solution. And to realize, if you're not a part of the solution, you are a part of the problem. I'm sorry, there's really no gray areas here. And this you can definitely apply to any area of your life. And 3, take personal responsibility of the part you play in the problem, or whatever it is you're complaining about, and become a part of the solution. You can start by leaving a place nicer than the way you found it. Don't assume or expect others to take care of it or pick up after you. You can embody the message of this conference, let it be me. Whether it's, smiling at the person next to you, picking up your own stuff, or having a better attitude about work or taxes. Just remember, it starts with you. You are the solution. And now that you're aware, you have no excuse. And finally 4, find your seed of inspiration to take action in your daily life. And you can start by simply asking yourself, what can I do now, right now, to make my environment better for me and for others? Now, overwhelming as any problem can seem, you have to first realize the part you play in it and take personal responsibility and have hope. Have hope that it will get better, it can get better, that you make a difference. And if you ever doubt whether you make a difference or not, I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite stories to hopefully inspire you to be a part of the solution. It's the starfish story by Lauren Isley. I love this story. One day, a man was walking along the beach, and he saw a boy hurriedly picking up things and throwing it gently into the ocean. And approaching the boy, he says, "Hey man, what are you doing?" The boy replies, "Well, throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf's up and the tide's going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." And the man kind of laughs to himself and he says, "Young man, don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and there's literally hundreds of starfish? You can't possibly make a difference." And the boy, after listening politely, bent down, picks up a starfish, and throws it into the ocean. And smiling at the man, he says, "I made a difference to that one." So in essence, just like the starfish the boy saved, the birds we rescue, one by one, you can make a difference. The effect of each piece of trash we pick up saves an animal, saves our ecosystem, saves our environment, and by 1 degree of separation, or rather connectedness, in a sense, saves each of us. So why not me? Let it be me. And if nothing else, just knowing that you're being a part of the solution, not only may help you sleep better at night, but it may be the example you set that inspires others in your community, or plants a seed into a child's heart and will make their future and our world a better place. Thank you.